Hey, Chris Liepe here for the Recording Revolution. It's all about guitar for the next several videos here on the channel. And in this video, we're going to be looking at beefing up your rhythm playing and your signal chain building for a very David Gilmour-esque type vibe. Lots of other guitar players have made use of this very simple approach. U2's The Edge, Buckethead are the two ones that come to mind and have inspired me the most with this technique. I encourage you, as you're digging in to what I'm going to share in this video, it's all about the nuance. The playing is incredibly simple. The concepts are incredibly simple. In fact, if you can play a basic pentatonic scale and do a little bit of palm muting, you can get there without much effort. But in order to really make it thrive, you have to pay attention and execute on a very detailed level. All right, let's dial in our tone first, and then we'll work with the approach. I'm using really simple, almost all stock Logic plugins and some really cheap Wave plugins here and there, for the most part, to get these sounds. And if you'd like more help dialing in your guitar tone and your mixing when it comes to guitar, click the link below and get my free PDF. We start with just this basic Logic amp. I'm going in DI. And I've got a very, somewhat distorted, clean sound. And you notice my input is pretty hot. I am making sure that my DI level is up so that I get the bite of this amp, and then I bring the gain up to taste. So that's an important note. I like to get my signal going in as hot as I can, not so that it's distorted, but so that it pushes some of these virtual amps in a good way. And that's helping me get that nice, natural sounding breakup. I have the reverb off and all effects off here because the next thing I've got going on in my chain is a gate, an expander, just to get rid of some of the noise. If I turn this off, hear a little bit of hiss if you're listening to headphones. But I've taken care to make sure that this doesn't take away from the detail I want to communicate with my fingers. So that's very key. I've also rolled off my lows, starting at about 75 hertz, and you can see that here. There isn't a lot with a standard tuned guitar that is relevant below 80 hertz. And similarly, to create a bit of warmth, I have taken off the very highs. Not much exists up there with most amp models anyway, but I'm kind of just doing that to be safe. I've got this gate going on after the amp, so when I put in my reverbs and delays, the reverb is not gated. I want to make sure I have the reverb after my gate. And you wouldn't even in ordinary circumstances probably need a gate, except for I am talking and I don't want that little bit of hiss back there all the time. And it doesn't take away from my playing. So I've just got a regular, sort of room reverb on there. The trick here is we're using a dotted eighth delay synced to 100 beats per minute, which is the session tempo. And we're being very deliberate about playing palm muted eighth notes with a dotted eighth note delay. And that creates this neat revolving David Gilmour-esque type sound. We add those palm mutes in there and we experiment with accenting. Stuff gets pretty special pretty fast, and it's so simple. This is one of those things that you can really vibe out on and just loop and experiment with. Not everything's going to be pretty, but it helps you really get in the groove. It's good for your rhythm playing. It's good for your tonal and touch development on the guitar. So much fun. So If we look at what I'm doing on the guitar and we turn the delay off for now, it's, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and basically just going up the pentatonic scale, minor pentatonic scale in E. And 2 and 3 and 4. And then I'll kind of move around somewhat, not randomly, but I'll do this sort of backwards waterfall approach. So we'll have, da, da. The bottom line is you want to be super consistent with it, and you want to do palm muting with it. We don't want this. We want it to be controlled with our palm muting. You get that little reverb echo accentuated there. This allows us to awaken certain notes. We're accenting, and those come off really nicely in the delay when we choose to. Practice getting these sorts of techniques dialed in with your pentatonic scale before you turn the delay on so that you can be extra attentive to bringing the delay into an already well thought out version of your technique. Let's do this to the track without the delay and just focus on being super on with the eighth notes, 1 and 2 and. Maybe move around a little bit to a different position. Got a little bit outside of the pentatonic, that's okay. The key is we're being super consistent with our pentatonic scale and with our eighth notes. Then the other vibe that we want to work on is getting into this faster 16th note thing with chicken scratch. We want to get this down and then add the delay. Let's try this kind of vibe over it. Again, just musing around with the basic pentatonic scale. We're going to start by scratching. Then get in the groove with the track. Ideally, we should be able to switch between these two playing vibes and let the delay enhance, the dotted eighth delay, enhance what we're doing. We're always dancing with that delay, which is part of what makes this so fun. So again, here it is without the delay, and then we'll put the delay on and see how it works. Important that we focus on the mechanics of that palm muting and make sure that that allows us, in combination with our left hand muting, to accent certain notes, bring out certain phrases, and be really intentional about that. And practicing doing that without the delay is going to help us tame what we're doing here and dial it in so that we don't just put the delay on and then play willy-nilly. That's really important, and you're going to see why as we move to the delay. And what's neat about this is I have it set on a ping pong stereo sort of thing. Feedback, a mild amount, and then I've got the high cut on just a little bit so that the repeats are slightly less bright than the originals. Mix is 50%, and then of course we got our dotted eighth delay. This is a Waves plugin, very cheap, GTR, but there's lots of things that can do this. I just like the pedal form of this sort of thing. So if we play the track and we focus on the first thing we were doing, which is just the single eighth notes, and we really focus on getting in the groove with that, that's the first step. I'm going to loop the track and just get immersed in this process, and how the delay picks up my guitar, making micro adjustments, focusing on my dynamics, focusing on the feel of what I'm playing, and let the delay carry it even more. What's kind of fun is that you realize the potential for that staccato really helps bring out certain notes. Really neat. Let's experiment a little bit more, and I'm going to transition from straight eighths to working into that scratchy sort of sound, and you're going to notice how the delay picks that up slightly differently, although really interesting. Lots of fun stuff to experiment with here, regardless of your gear, regardless of your skill level. Taking something so simple, surrounding it with the right degree of nuance, and creating something pretty special and fun to just play over and vibe out for long periods of time. You can get totally lost in this. Again, if you want more help dialing in your guitar tone in the box and learning more tricks about recording guitar, 1, click the link below and get my PDF. 2, stick around for the next several videos on the channel coming in the next few weeks. We'll see you for more.